Welcome back to another episode of The Lofty Lender with me, Tall Money Man. This week I have another special guest with me. I've got Liz Lashier with Next Home Your Way in West Des Moines. Real estate has always had a special place in Liz's heart. From a young age, she was fascinated by the industry as her father ran his own brokerage. Upon graduating from college, she obtained her real estate license, but ultimately pursued a career in information technology. Over the course of 3 decades, she worked in various IT roles, including being a programmer, analyst, technical lead, quality assurance leader, business analyst leader, and project and process manager. It was a rewarding career, but she eventually decided to leave corporate America and return to her first love, real estate. For the past 6 years, she has been fully immersed in the industry, working tirelessly with both buyers and sellers. Her approach is centered around building lasting relationships, and she takes great pride in staying in touch with her clients long after the sale is complete. She is always eager to help in any way she can, and if she doesn't know the answer to a question, she will work tirelessly to find it. Welcome to the show, Liz.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
All right. Well, the first segment we're going to start with is business and beyond. So this is still the same thing. Still asking you some questions about your family and your recreation, occupation, and goals. But I got to tweak stuff as I'm getting into this thing. So,
No, that's okay. Just give me time to answer a question then. I'm not ready for it.
Well, first off, I guess you can easily tell me this one. How did you get into real estate, or what? I guess you kind of put it in your bio, but what was that trigger that said, "All right, I'm done with this. I'm ready to go back to real estate"?
Yeah, it was a interesting time. I ended up as a vice president in a small technology company, I guess medium-sized technology company, and I was traveling a lot, dealing with a lot of unpleasant clients that weren't happy, and I kind of burnt myself out. I think sometimes we have a tendency to try and fix everything, and some things just aren't fixable. Especially when you're dealing with technology. So I was in California dealing with a particularly unpleasant client, and I called my husband. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. This is sucking my soul. And he just kind of said, well, then quit. And I was like, what? Quit? I mean, it's like it was such a foreign thought to just quit a job that,
Yep.
was so big. And so I just at that moment decided I needed to do that. So I quit, and then I didn't really know what I was going to do. And I had a company that flipped houses, because that's one of my passions is making houses pretty again. And so I was like, well, I've paid real estate agents to sell my houses. Why can't I do that? So I went and got my license, and, just to sell my flips, and just fell in love with it. I just fell in love with, trying to match houses with people, and, getting to know people, and understanding what they want in a house, and doing the search, and then seeing their eyes light up when they find the house they want. And so, yeah, I just fell in love with it.
So taking that one step further, you fell in love with it, got started as an agent, and now you're a broker. So how did that transition come about?
Well, I'm naturally, I don't know, I was a vice president when I left. And so when I got into real estate, I had decided, right away, well, I'm going to just get I'm going to do my own brokerage. But you can't do that right away. You have to, learn the business and become an agent and all that stuff. And so, when I went in, I had already decided I wanted my own brokerage. Because I like to, I don't know, I like to be in charge. I don't know what it is, but I like the responsibility of being the broker. So, a year and a half ago, I opened up Next Home Your Way, which is a franchise. And I chose Next Home because their motto is humans over houses. And, that's really the way I do my business, is all on relationship. It's all about the people and their agenda, their timetable, everything. I do this to help people. So, and that just fit very well.
Yeah, and that's totally evident in your team. I mean, the people that are on your team, talking to all of them, they all care specifically about the customer, not about finding this house. If this isn't the right one, let's move on, find the next one.
Yep.
Maybe they're not quite pre-approved yet, but they really want to see a house, and we want to get them happy, and we want to get them engaged. So they go show a house, and all the while they're texting me saying,
Yeah,
Kyle, let's get that pre-approval done as soon as possible so we can get that moving. So um,
exactly.
it's
Yep.
evident in your leadership
I
style.
Yeah, and I'm being very, very thoughtful about who I let into my brokerage because I want people, I want agents that kind of have the same thought process, and really lead with relationship, and we don't go away after the sale, and so I'm really thoughtful of the agents that come here because of that, because I want us all to have that same thought. So.
So going back to way back when you were a kid, just 10, 15 years ago, right? What what did you want to be when you grew up? Do you remember? Did you want to be a real estate agent?
Well, I don't know if back in the day we took these tests that kind of said, you've answered all these questions and it came back and said, oh, this is what you should do. And mine came back as an interior designer. And I kind of do that
Hmm.
when I do my flips because that's one of the passions I have is when I walk into especially an old house, when I walk into an old house, maybe from the 1920s, the 1912s, whatever, and I see what it used to be in my head, and I want to bring it back to the beauty that it used to be. I feel like I can walk into a house and tell when a house wants to be beautiful again. And so it's like I really enjoy doing that.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
what's a hobby then that gives you a little break from real estate?
You know, that was a question that you sent me, and I was like, gosh darn, I don't really know because everything seems to surround by real estate. I'm going to say my hobby is design. I really enjoy making houses pretty. Um, and so it's like I have some investment clients that are just now dipping their toe in flipping, and so I'm helping them design that, and I'm just doing it because I want them to be
Yeah.
successful. And they're like, we need to pay you for this, and I'm like, well, yeah, we'll figure that out. But I just really want to help you be successful with this, and that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy picking out what the layout of the kitchen is going to be and that kind of stuff. So, but I mean, honestly, I like to read. I like to go, walk, and my husband and I, we bought electric bikes, and so we think we want to go biking. We did like twice last year, and so it's like we need to do more of that kind of stuff. But
That's awesome.
yeah, we love to travel. I've traveled all over the world, so I that's definitely a hobby of mine is traveling. I've been to Africa and Bali and Italy and uh, Turkey and Greece and Morocco. So it's just, yeah, it's I love to travel. So
Yeah, that's the thing that came to mind when I sent you that question. I was thinking, okay, she's been all over the world. Let's talk about that for sure. So
yeah, yeah. My favorite place, um, you know, I- my favorite. I love Italy. I just love the culture there. I loved Bali. Bali was just amazing. Um, Turkey, one of the coolest things I did was go to a Turkish bath, and that was just amazing. So, but yeah,
that's cool.
so
That's awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
you'll have to tell me all about those places when my wife and I start traveling as the kids get older. So can't wait for that.
yes, yes. South Africa, great safari.
Oh yeah, that's totally something on my bucket list is a safari. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you could take a class to learn anything new, what would it be?
Hmm. I want to learn more about AI and some of the things that are going on with that. So I've kind of been dabbling a little bit in that, just understanding what it can be used for. Since I'm a technology geek, I was a programmer, I was all that kind of stuff. I love technology, and so the fact that we have AIs that can do all these things and learn and keep going. It just fascinates me. I use Chat GPT, which is, a simple thing, but it just fascinates me that it can answer all these things, and it can re-answer it 10 ways, like it's 10 different people. And it's very fun to learn from that.
Absolutely. I actually had an episode a couple weeks ago about AI that was dropped on my podcast here. So
I'll have to go take
It's
a look.
mainly focused on real estate, so most people are probably not going to love it as much, but it's amazing, just all the technology that's out
Yeah.
there. And I think there's like 100 new AI companies or programs coming out like every single month. And so it's
Yeah.
impossible to stay ahead of these and like which ones are actually beneficial to us and which ones are just, they might be beneficial to
Mhm.
somebody, but it's not going to be me for some reason. So,
Yeah. I think it's fascinating when I think about all the work I used to do manually programming, and now it's like you can just tell them the requirements and it will spit out the
yeah,
code. And it's like that is just fascinating to me. Of course, I would be no longer useful, but
we're all going to
it
become
was
prompt
just
managers for sure.
yeah, but it's just amazing because the hours and hours we would spend trying to write code and tweak code and debug it and all that stuff, and this AI now can just create perfect code. It's amazing. It's amazing where we are
My favorite
today.
thing to do with Chat GPT and stuff like that, I play with Excel way too much. I love Excel. I love playing with algorithms and creating formulas and doing all that kind of stuff. And now I
Hmm.
can say, okay, my Excel is giving me some weird error, so I stick that error into Chat GPT, and then it kicks back with a bunch of options that are way better and way more understandable than the code
Hmm.
that Excel kicks back and says, "Well, here's your error." Well,
Yeah,
that still doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what you're saying. Talk to me like
right.
I'm five.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Very cool. Yep.
what's the what eats up most of your time throughout the day?
I would say probably searching for the perfect house. It's like every day I spend time looking on the houses that come on the market. And every day, I think about all the houses that come on and what client would work for. And so if a new house comes on the market, I'm like looking at it and like, oh my God, this might be perfect for so and so. And I may not have talked to them in 3 months because they couldn't find the perfect house. I send it to them, and it's surprising how it's like it reignites them to start looking
Yeah.
again. So yeah, I spend a lot of time on the MLS looking at houses.
So is that also the most difficult part of your job as well, or is there something else that you would consider more difficult with real estate?
Mm. I think the most difficult is making sure that you've dotted all your I's and crossed all your T's, that you're doing everything the right way, and that you're auditing everything you're doing so that you make sure that you're doing everything that needs to be done in the transaction. So
AI.
just making sure. Yeah,
AI is going to help with all
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
It's going to make it simple.
It's gonna be exciting.
The
Yeah.
best part is they don't, I don't really see it, once you've created the AI to, and we don't need to talk about AI all day, but the once you have created a program or a solution,
Instance.
it's
Yeah.
going to do
Yeah.
that exact same thing every single time. And it's not going to screw up. It's not going to have a day off. It's
And
not
it's
going to
not
get
gonna get
sick. It's
bored.
not going to get bored. It's going to follow up when I'm not
It's
remembering to
not
follow
gonna
up.
wanna get a promotion, go do something new.
Well, they might charge us more. So that's the promotion. I got to pay more each month. But and Google
Yeah.
Gemini is the one you also need to be exploring now as well, because that's going to be
Okay.
searchable on Google. So that's kind of a cool
Oh, wow.
switch up.
Yeah.
So, anyways, where does the team go from here? So you've got a few agents under you now. You've
Mhm.
created the brokerage. Where are you going from here?
Yep. Well, one of my goals is to expand the brokerage. I have 3 agents, and I'm very excited about that. I'm interviewing for new ones. Every day, I have, inquiries, and it's kind of fun. This world, people are, always looking for, a better brokerage, and I believe Next Home is just one of the best out there, with the technology that we have, and just the people that work at Next Home. It's just, I think everybody's very methodical about making sure that we have the best and the brightest, and everybody following our motto kind of thing. So that's kind of exciting. My goal is I'd like probably about 10 agents. I don't want to get huge, but I think 10 is a good number. So
Okay. And
yeah.
is that part of your vision board? Because you told me you do these vision boards every year, and I missed out on an opportunity to
Yep.
attend that. So what was on your vision board this year?
Yep. 10, I would like to have 10 Last year, I said I think 5, did not make that, but this year I have 10 because I always like to expand. So I've got that on my vision board. I have, I want to do, more transactions. I want to do more listings. So listings is a real focus this year. And so I've got that. And then of course my personal travel and, my health and, all that kind of stuff. Vision boards are a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, I need to.
You should try it. If you haven't done it, you should
I
try
need to
it.
sit down
'Cause
and do it with you.
I totally believe, yeah, I totally believe that, where you put your mind at is where your life leads you. And so you always want to be thinking forward and using your thoughts wisely.
Yeah, totally agree with that. All right, so we're going to hop into this or that. It's just some rapid fire
Okay.
questions here. I'm going to ask you A or B. You're welcome to expand upon your answer, or we can just leave it and move on.
Okay.
All right, so first up, we've got coffee or tea?
Tea, but I like tea, but that's because I didn't drink coffee until COVID. And during COVID, I started drinking coffee for the first time in my life, and I really like it. But I really like coffee with a little bit of Bailey's. So, or I love the Hawaiian coffee at Hollow's. That is amazing coffee.
Kona
If
coffee?
you have not
Oh,
had
yeah.
Yeah, Kona coffee at Mahalo's. It's like, whew, that's good. But I would say I would probably overall tea. But
So Liz and I share one similarity in that we both went to Loras College. Woohoo, go Doohawks.
yes, woohoo, go Doohawks. Yeah.
But I actually started drinking.
I graduated a little bit before you though.
Just a couple years, no big deal. But I actually started drinking coffee in college because that's the only way I could stay awake studying all the time. So now I'm addicted. Yeah. Early bird or night owl?
Oh, I'm definitely a night owl. I do not like early mornings.
Oh, that's good to know. All right. Beach house or mountain cabin?
Beach house. I love the ocean. I love the feel of the ocean.
Fixer upper or move in ready?
Fixer upper. Absolutely. I want to put my vision into it.
I could see that one. Yep. Open house extravaganza or quiet showing?
Open house extravaganza. I love a good open house. I love it when there's people walking through. I love it when you have 30 people at an open house. That to me is exciting.
Yeah, that's incredible. Having 30 people.
Although I like the personal showings, I don't say I don't like that, but the open house extravaganza sounds fun.
Right, big party. Let's go. City skyline view or tranquil countryside?
I would say I don't know. I both equally depends on my mood.
Fair. Intricate staging or minimalist clean lines?
Minimalist clean lines. I like organization. I like it clean.
Sweet or savory breakfast?
Savory. Give me eggs and potatoes and bacon.
Agreed. Yeah. Although I do a lot of donuts, so I'm both for that one.
Yes, and give me a mimosa with that.
Favorite drink?
Jameson and Coke. Is that like a drink? Alcoholic drink?
Anything you drink. Anything you drink.
Oh, water. I drink water all the time. That is my absolute favorite drink. But alcohol drink, Jameson, Coke.
Well, you got to have the water because of the Jameson and Cokes, right?
Exactly. Yep.
We got dogs or cats?
I have been a cat person my whole life, but now I have 2 beautiful little Havanese dogs that I absolutely love. So I've kind of turned into a dog person, but I still think cats are cool.
Pen and paper or digital notes?
Pen and paper.
Yeah.
I'm still old school.
I come over to your office and you've got everything written down on pen and paper, so that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Historical charm or modern amenities?
How about historical charm with modern amenities?
Deal.
I mean, I like the historical charm of, a living room and an entryway and, that kind of stuff. But give me a modern kitchen, give me a modern bathroom.
I totally can appreciate both of those.
Maybe with a clawfoot tub, but yeah.
Travel hackmaster or all-inclusive bliss?
Depends on my mood. I've done both. I've gone on trips where we didn't even really have anything planned, and I've gone on trips where everything's been planned and it's to the T. So it depends on my mood. I'm comfortable with both.
Live music or stand-up comedy?
Ooh, oh, I'm gonna say live
I
music.
thought you were going to say a comedian that sings.
Oh yes, yeah. No, I love comedians. They're fun to go. I love going and seeing comedians, but I think I go to live music more. So I
Yeah.
like a good concert, especially when I'm in the mosh pit right up front, feeling the energy of the crowd.
Just not bouncing around as much, not getting thrown around in the pit.
Not anymore. No, that was yeah, that was high school, college. I actually did one of the concerts I went to. I got lifted up and thrown up on top, and I was like, "Dang it, how do I get down from here?" Because I didn't want to be up here. It was very frightening as a junior in high school. Yeah.
I feel like I did the same thing as a junior or senior in high school. It wasn't at a mosh pit, but I was totally up there, and yeah, it's really scary. You just think
It
everybody's going to
is,
drop you, and then
and
I think
I
they
know
did
it
let me down.
yeah, it's like all of a sudden I'm way away from my friends, and I'm like, how did this happen? Yeah.
Cyclones or Hawkeyes?
Oh, Cyclones. And the
Oh,
funny thing is I was a Hawkeye fan until I met my husband, and he has turned me totally into Cyclone fan. And I love my Cyclones. We have tickets to football and basketball, but I still cannot sing the Cyclone fight song, but I do know the Iowa fight song. So I still like Iowa, and I'm cheering on Iowa girls. So
heck yeah. Picnic in Grays Lake Park or kayaking on the Des Moines River?
picnicking. I don't want a kayak.
I can't swim, so I don't ever pick anything with water. I just
Yeah,
stand up, in pools and stuff, so I don't have to swim. But going in
yeah,
the
that's
lake, yeah, I can't stand up.
yeah. So I didn't. I took adult swimming lessons because I didn't know how to swim, and I could save myself in a pool. But I'm never confident swimming, so I'm the same way. I'm not a confident swimmer, and it always makes me nervous in the ocean and on the lake and stuff. So, yep.
We'll have to compare notes because I'm deathly afraid of it. So I want to hear more about the adult swim lessons another time. So
Yeah.
all right, getting into the last segment here, which is our trending topic,
Okay.
and we've talked about this a little bit, but with the recent NAR lawsuits being settled, how have you
Mhm.
seen this impacting your clients' understanding and expectations around real estate commissions?
Yeah, it's been an interesting time for sure. One of the things that I can say is the media has it all wrong. I mean, they're explaining it wrong. The things they're saying are confusing people, and I feel like people think that things are going to change, but the thing that the thing that has been true is we have not commissions have always been negotiable. They always will be negotiable. If you don't like what you're hearing from the agent you're working with, you have to move on to another agent and get what you want. And so as a seller, you have to be aware of what you're getting for your money and be okay with it. And if you're not, you move on. And that has always been the way of the way of the past. But apparently, um, some people didn't understand that. Some people didn't explain that. I have always explained to my buyers up front, how I get paid. And I talk to them about how, traditionally sellers will offer payment to the buyer's agent because, I mean, they do that because the buyers don't necessarily have a lot of money, for more than the down payment that they need. And so then to come with the down payment and the commission for their agent is difficult. Sellers understand that, so they want to make sure that they get a big buyer pool. So they offer that to the buyer so that they can their agent can get paid. And I've explained that. I've had sales in the past that are for sale by owners that did not want to pay my commission, my compensation, and my buyers understood that, and that was just part of the transaction. So it's like it's always been there. It's just, I think, we had some lawyers that saw a place that they could come in and make some money, and they thought they could blow up the industry, and who knows what's going to happen. We don't know what's exactly going to happen. We do know that come July, if everybody agrees to what NAR settlement says, we will be required, before we show a house, to have a paper sign that says, here's an exclusive buyer's agreement. And before I show you this house, we have to sign this, because you have to show that I've talked to you about how compensation happens. And that's going to make buyers uncomfortable. If you don't, why would I want to sign a paper with somebody I don't know? So we're talking about ways that we can, mitigate the uncomfortableness of that. In the form that we have, we can say it's just for today. It's just for the showing. Tomorrow, if you want to see another one, you're going to have to sign another form. And so we can do that, to kind of mitigate the risk of, that uncomfortableness that buyers are going to feel, so that they're not locked into something, but they're never locked into anything anyway. But, it's still, they don't want to sign something because that's the feeling they have. And then once you build the trust with them, okay, now let's sign this for a little bit longer term, and let's find you the house that you want. And so it's like, it's just going to be a matter of a conversation, and making buyers understand that, this is the law. We can't show you this house without you signing this paper. That's just the way it is. I still don't understand what's going to happen with some of the things, some of the things around like open houses and different things like that. But I'm sure all this will there'll be a determination of what we will have, and what we can do and what we can't do. So.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head right away when you said the media has it wrong, and nobody really knows what's going on. And the media always makes their money from fear, right? So they're trying to scare people. They're trying to get clicks. They're trying to get people to read the article.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, it's like they talk about a seller will not have to pay a buyer's agent. Well, guess what? Most of the sellers out there are turning around and buying a house. And most of the time when you sell a house, you're selling a house at a lower price and getting a bigger house. And so if you look at it that way, if that's really the way that's going to be better for everybody, as a seller, you're going to pay more because you're turning around and buying a bigger house, and now you have to pay the buyer's commission. So it doesn't even make sense when they use that explanation. I don't want to pay a buyer's agent as a seller. Well, you're not just a seller. The only one that's going to help is maybe, I don't even know. I don't even know, because most of the time you're turning around and you're buying right after you're selling. Does that make sense? And so
Absolutely.
it's just interesting the way that they're spinning it and making it seem like, oh, sellers, you're going to save all this money. And it's like, no, because you just, you're going to pay it on the other end then. Before you didn't, But I do think sellers are going to realize that in order to sell your house and to create the bigger buyer pool, you're going to have to offer some compensation. And whether it's going to be, enough, and the buyer may have to come with some money still, that's still up in the air, and what's gonna, what will end up happening. So, but as a buyer's agent, I need to get compensated for my time. I sell, there are so many people I show 50 houses to, and then they don't turn around and buy, or I show 50 houses to, we make 3 offers, and then they give up because they can't, they haven't won the offer. So it's like, and that's all that time spent where I get paid nothing. And so you have to look at compensation of a buyer's agent over the whole big picture of their, their relationship with all the buyers. So
I love your insight on that. And everybody's got a little slightly different take. And until we really know what's going to happen, they're just, they're insights. So, well, Liz, it's been awesome having you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us today. If anybody out there is looking for someone who needs some help with, flipping their house, or they're trying to stage their home, Liz is your gal. Otherwise, if you heard anything today that really piques your interest, reach out. Liz, where can they get a hold of you?
Call me at 515-707-6979, or email me at lizlashier@gmail.com.
Awesome. Sounds great. Well, thanks again. And we appreciate everyone listening in today. Stay tuned for next week when we'll have another awesome guest.